A very desperate Republican Senator Ted Cruz went on Newsmax this week to beg the audience, please give me money. I'm getting swamped here. I'm getting my butt kicked in what should have been a fairly easy race for me, and I may not win if you, dear viewer, do not send me money. Ted Cruz, of course, sounding like a ridiculous televangelist, telling people that I can't save you if you don't send me the money. But here is what Ted Cruz told to that Newsmax audience this week. Look, there's no doubt Texas is a battleground today. Chuck Schumer has been explicit. I'm his #1 target in the country, and the Democrats are spending over $100 million. Chuck Schumer and George Soros are flooding cash into the state of Texas. There have been multiple polls in the last 33 weeks that show it's a 4-point race, a 3-point race, a 2-point race, and there have been 2 polls that show it as a 1-point race. They are coming after me with everything they got. And then he slams his Democratic opponent, Colin Allred, saying, quote, he's voted for open borders and higher taxes and defunding the police. Which, no, he hasn't, because those are actually not things that came up for a vote. So right off the bat, you're like, he voted for these things that weren't actually in legislation. There was no open border legislation. There was secure the border legislation that Republicans at Donald Trump's urging shot down Ted. But of course, you don't want to mention that to Newsmax. But he continues. And yet he's been on TV for 3 months straight with relentless attack ads. I just went on TV a couple weeks ago. So I want to encourage your viewers this morning. I need your help. Please go to tedcruz.org and contribute, because we are getting swamped by Chuck Schumer and George Soros. And as I said, they have put a bullseye on the state of Texas. They know if they flip Texas, if they take me out, they take the entire country. They keep the Senate Democrats. So I need your help. It's pathetic. But that's what Ted Cruz has been reduced to. Ted Cruz has always been a very pathetic guy. And he's out there wanting George Soros, right? The great boogeyman of the Republican Party. Because George Soros is their favorite guy. Like, anytime something goes bad for Republicans, like, damn you, George Soros. It's always George Soros. And here's the thing, much like when Beto O'Rourke ran against Ted Cruz 6 years ago, a lot of that $100 million Ted Cruz is talking about is not coming from Chuck Schumer. It's certainly not coming from George Soros. It is coming from people all across the country who absolutely hate Ted Cruz, but just like 6 years ago, they don't live in Texas, so they don't actually get to vote, so the money doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. But here's something else, and I want to remind all the Newsmax viewers of this. Ted Cruz doesn't need your money, right? Do not send any money to Ted Cruz, because he is trying to scam you. And let me remind you of the scam. A couple years ago, actually following his race against Beto O'Rourke, Ted Cruz had loaned his campaign a lot of money. And according to campaign finance rules, he's only allowed to reimburse himself $250,000, even though he had loaned his campaign much more money than that. Finance rules limited it to $250,000. And Ted Cruz said, well, I don't like that. I'm going to sue. And he took his case to the Supreme Court. And that lawsuit brought by Ted Cruz, the Supreme Court said, you know what? Ted's right. Let's get rid of the limits on what candidates can reimburse themselves. So because of Ted Cruz, candidates can now lend their campaign unlimited amounts of money and then pay themselves back unlimited amounts of money. So Ted Cruz, Newsmax viewers, doesn't need your money. He wants your money so that he can pay himself back the full amount that he loaned his campaign. So when you send him money, you're not sending it to him so that he can run TV ads. You're literally sending it to him so that he can put it back in his own pocket. So if you're okay with that, which I'm sure you probably are, go ahead and send him money. But if that leaves a bad taste in your mouth knowing that Ted Cruz has plenty of money, he just wants to put it back in his pocket, then maybe don't go to his stupid little website like he's begging you to do. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.